And we are live with not a DreamHack broadcast. For the first time in a week, or just over a week, we are live with something very close. La Espira Desafiantes for 2021. I'm of course your host Light VIP, your host, caster, observer extraordinaire. And I'll be joined later, I imagine, by Ducklings. I have to make sure that's gonna happen. But at the moment, of course, he is busy doing what he does best, and that is admin the tournament. Ducklings, of course, he is El Padrino. He is the admin, one of the main admins in the Latin American StarCraft scene. He is running this event, and you may be wondering, what even is this event? Well then, I will exclamation mark Funara you, because this event has been running for over a year now. It's basically Code A for Latin American StarCraft. What does that mean? Well, yesterday, well, a couple of days ago, we just finished up the DreamHack Closed Qualifier. And we have our confirmed players for the Latin American DreamHack group stage. And because of that, the 4 players who didn't make it through, who got knocked out in the closed qualifier, get invited to this event, and the other 4 players who did, or who performed as best as they could, better than any other player in the open qualifiers, also get invited here. They get seeded by points, depending on how far they went, depending on if they made it to a qualifying match, or the semifinals, or the quarterfinals. Throughout both of the open qualifiers, they get seeded, and then they get invited. So these are the top 8 players in Latin America for this season of DreamHack. It isn't quite associated with DreamHack. There's no EBT points on the line or anything like that. It's just a way for us to support the Latin American scene even further. If you want to know more of the backstory of this, a lot of it is because back in the day, before DreamHack, before EPT, ESL Pro Tour, the WCS Latin America was actually Copa America, and it was top 16 players. Not top 8, not top 12. It included a lot more players. So this is a way that the community kind of came together to kind of supplement the fact that less players are being involved and less players are going to be making it into the main event of EPT. Of course, this event is run by La Espira. It's also sponsored by the CranKy Ducklings. Every single Desafiantes, we have sponsored it. We have put up the prize pool, or put up a portion of the prize pool to run this event. Again, just because we love Latin American StarCraft so much. It's become a huge part of what we do in StarCraft, what we do when it comes to casting. So yeah, that is a bit of a rundown to what this event is. But now we talk about the players. Also, kind of a bit of a difference here. We're back to no cameras. We haven't set up new overlays for webcams for our regular events, other than the DreamHack stuff. So it'll take some time before we bring the cameras back. It is definitely something that we want to do, but until then, we're back to our old overlays. And you know what that means? That means I can be in my pajamas. It's beautiful, mate. It's beautiful. Oh god. All right. Well, here we go. So we are just getting ready here. As you can imagine, we're going to cast as many of these matches as we can, and those matches are, as you can see on the screen right now, Chaos Fate up against Loki. Loki was a big surprising player in the qualifiers. He knocked out some big names. He had kind of like a standout performance. Can he go further here? That is the question. He's still the underdog, but it's amazing that he made it this far. He's not the only one. Mate, Chile kind of turned up in the open qualifiers. We'll talk about it later on, but of course there's another Chilean player in this bracket. Chaos Fate, one of the best Terrans in the entire scene. Of course, still like in the shadow of Juanito and Kelazar and the Brazilian Terran. But Chaos Fate is still a very strong player, but he was knocked out by Ryu, if you recall. So yeah, now he has a chance for redemption here. A very strong player. Meanwhile, we have MasTeR, the Brazilian Protoss player. Again, also has been performing incredibly well recently. Still, still kind of in the shadow of Shakti, the best Brazilian Protoss player out there, but MasTeR is still an amazing player. Honestly, one of the favorites in this tournament to make it at least to the finals, I'm not gonna lie. But his opponent is someone who we have casted many times, or all these players we've casted many times, but I love him. He's kind of like my stepson in a way. Tavo, the Peruvian Terran player, the brother of Neo, the the quote-unquote brother of Neo. Again, a very strong player. He has been on the rise, on the up and up this entire year. These entire 7 months, he has been kind of rising in the ranks, and it's great to see him here in Desafiantes. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to make the cut for the closed qualifiers, but he came oh so close, oh so close. I'm proud of him, and I'm proud of how much he has been able to improve. Meanwhile, of course, Parker Mike, yo, it was a massive upset that he did not qualify for the DreamHack. Like, that was insane that happened. No one expected that. Parker Mike, he fell against Ryu in the first round, and in the second round, I'm not too sure. I can't quite remember who knocked him out. It may have been Eggs. I'm gonna have to double check that, but yeah, it was honestly a massive surprise. Oh no, it was Terran. It was the Brazilian Terran who knocked him out. So yeah, Paco Mike not making it through was insane, and because of that, he is, I would say, the highest rated player in this entire bracket. But again, you know, he can be taken down. His opponent, Luciano, just like Loki, a Chilean player who really just broke out this open qualifier. For DreamHack, like, no one really expected them to perform as well as they did. People expected other players like Halfbreed or Jarpi to take their place, but Halfbreed and Jarpi, they only showed up for the first qualifier, not the second, so they didn't get that many points. So yeah, they didn't really have the runs that they were looking for. Meanwhile, Loki and Luciano, they're persistent. They were there for both qualifiers, and they just exceeded expectations. Meanwhile, we have Sinner. Sinner made it all the way, mate. He was so close. Oh my god, he is such a good player. And he made it here only by showing up to one qualifier, and then he made it to the closed qualifier. That was what was insane about Sinner. Sinner, Darky has been talking about him a lot, how Sinner has been focusing on 2v2s recently, but it's great to see him back in the 1v1 scene because he is such a strong player. He just showed up out of nowhere, just straight away qualified in the first qualifier that he showed up in. Didn't have the best of luck in the closed qualifier, but mate, you're up against the best, right? Whatever. What do you expect? But it was great to see Sinner again, and honestly, I mean, I've got high hopes for him. Like, he's like the bottom bracket is so stacked today. Like Parker Mike, Sinner, and Eggs, by the way, you know, one of the other big names here. He's a staple in the DreamHack scene, in the DreamHack main events. But unfortunately, he hasn't been practicing as much StarCraft recently. Has been playing a lot of other games. He has been focusing on his studies. Because of that, it was kind of surprising, but he did not make it to the closed qualifiers this season. He was denied by Sinner. So that's yo, that matchup's juicy. That's a juicy matchup. I cannot wait to cast them. The grudge match, it's coming back. Meanwhile, I'll see you guys in the chat. In the chat. Welcome everyone. Daunted, ARJ Skater, Maximo, Zero. Hope everyone is having a good time. We're just waiting for the players to finish up their vetoes, and then we are going to get into this series. We will be casting MasTeR versus Tavo. That will be our first series of the day. It will be running at the same time as Chaos Fate versus Loki. I imagine someone else is going to cast Chaos Fate and Loki. There are some other streams going on right now. Those other streams being Cosmos. Cosmos is casting in Portuguese. I'm sure he's covering MasTeR series. And Swap, Demon Swap, and Enki el Hermoso, they will be casting in Spanish. Oh. Meanwhile, we're just setting some things up here. Oh, there's no Brazilian flag. Feels bad, man. But should be good to go. So we're going to be starting shortly, but yeah, it's going to be an insane bracket today. Again, unfortunately, we're not going to be covering Chaos Fate versus Loki. That, if you want to tune into that, that will be over on Enki's Twitch channel and Demon Swap's YouTube channel. Meanwhile, after we cast this series, we'll be moving down to the lower brackets. We will be covering Sinner versus Eggs. I saw that match, I'm like, yo, I gotta jump on that. In an ideal world, we cast every single series. Feels bad, man. But yeah. This is how things are gonna be going today. Are you good to hop on for the... Oh. going to message Darking and see if he is available for a cast later on. But yeah, here we go. Our first series of the day. And I say of the day because we have a lot of casts today. After this, we do have a couple-hour break. I'm going to take that opportunity to nap, and then we're going to be diving into DreamHack Oceania. Then straight after that, we got DreamHack Taiwan. Then straight after that, we got DreamHack EU, and then straight after that, we have DreamHack Latino America. So, oh boy, a lot of casts today. A lot of casts. Hopefully, my voice holds up. I'm hoping. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed, mate. Fingers crossed. So we are diving into our first series. Looks like our first map is going to be Jagannatha. Tavo. Oh god. No bias here, but I am cheering for Tavito a little bit. We don't have any of our Ducklings in today's tournaments. All of our Latin American Ducklings have made it to the main event. I'm proud of them. I'm very proud of them. But here we go, mate. Game 1. I know that Tavo has been practicing hard for this. This is all he's had to focus on for the past couple of days. And here we go, spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Jagannatha LE. We have a Peruvian Terran player. He is purple, representing Storm Gaming. He should... hold on. Yeah. I don't know why he doesn't have the clan tag, but he is representing Storm Gaming. It is Tavo. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Jagannatha LE, we have the Brazilian Protoss player representing XMES Gaming. It is MasTeR. I just realized something. Oh god, this is gonna make things a little bit awkward. There we go. I'm just quickly checking. Yep, we have La Espira logo, we have the CranKy Ducklings logo, but Cosmos has his own logos mod, and he oh god, and he has set his own flag. So this is not a Peruvian player, this is a Brazilian. I'm going to have to message Darky about this and see if we're gonna get something done. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Either we set up Cosmos with this logos mod, or I just turn off my logos mod. It's just one or the other. We'll figure it out. God. All right. Here we go. So the game is starting off here. Nothing too crazy. Something that I have to point out that I'm just not used to. For the past week, I've been casting with the Pro 2020 UI, and switching back to WCS Game Heart like this, like the production tab is so small in comparison. It really messes with my eyes. Like I get used to the Pro 2020 mod. I kind of want to go back to it, not gonna lie. Oh god, I know there are pros and cons to it. I know the Pro 2020 mod isn't ideal. I know it could be better. There are some things with WCS Game Heart which are cleaner, but yeah, the bigger production tab is definitely a plus for the Pro 2021. Definitely. Meanwhile, yes, drink water, everyone. See. Toma su agüito. F for Neo. Yeah, Neo, unfortunately, he didn't make it to Desafiantes. He was close, but again, wasn't very lucky with his brackets. Ugh, had some rough matchups. Of course, Neo being El Pato that didn't make it in here and isn't in the DreamHack main event either. I apologize. Thank you for reminding me, Crow. Thank you. As we're slowly getting into the swing of things, we do have a Twilight Council opening here from MasTeR. Again, makes plenty of sense here, right? We should have a Blink Stalker opening. Beautiful. That's what we want. That's who we are. Meanwhile, Tavo is opening up with a 1-1-1. Okay, we have a reactor on the way. It seems pretty far for an add-on switch. I'd be surprised if we see a Widowmine drop here. There we go. It's not going to be Widowmines. It is going to be either a Banshee or a Raven opening. Beautiful. Tavo, let's do... It sounds like White Ninja may have taught Tavo a couple of things. Oh god, no. For not a White Ninja. Alright, here we go. Nice grenade there. He does knock the Adept out of the way. The Hellion and the Reaper dive into the main. Let's see if the Reaper can get into the middle line. Oh my god, one shot. Oh, the Reaper does go down. What this does do is that Tavo does get a full scan of the main base. So he does see the opening, does see the Twilight Council, and sees all 4 gateways. Mate, that's a lot of gates. And I'm pretty sure Tavo can counter 4. So we do have MasTeR being pretty aggressive here. War Prism is going to be coming out across the map, and Tavo needs to prepare at home. He needs to prepare, and oh, he's going for that Banshee. We have a bunker. Ooh, we have a second bunker. We need a bunker here on the high ground. We need a couple of tanks. This could be terrifying. Here we go. Stalkers are being warped in. They're going to be sent across the map with this War Prism. We do have a Reaper here, 2 scouts, 1 tank does come out in time. The Adept is going to be a little bit annoying, but thankfully the wall is a wall. We should have a second tank on the way. Again, this natural, very well fortified. The main, not so much. Especially because of the way these add-ons have turned out, there's no stim, there's no combat shields. Like, these are 0-0 marine, these are vanilla marines, mate. Like, they're not that great. Here comes the War Prism. Reaper's gonna get taken out. Again, War Prism does provide high ground vision. Blink is done. I guess the Banshee will help a little bit, but oh god, it's going across the map. Adept Shade's in. Ooh, and this is devastating. It's going to distract the Marines. Meanwhile, here come the Stalkers. Mate, they're getting ready to blink into the main. There's no tank. Okay, tank sieges up. Okay, the Marines make it out just in time. Tank will hold the line. Remember, we do have Cloak finished for this Banshee. At the same time, Banshee does go across the map. Does Cloak. So a lot of damage is going to be done. The second tank comes up from the low ground. Nicely done there by Tavo. Is this going to be enough to hold though? A lot of lost mining time. At the same time, ooh, the Banshee could get a couple more worker kills. Only 7 for now. And this is annoying. Oh god, the main is lifted up. The Stalkers are taking quite a lot of tank shots, but yo, MasTeR's committing. He's warping in more Stalkers. But in come the Banshees. There is no detection across the map. These Banshees will eventually clean up every single one of these Stalkers, forced to recall. Ah. Beautiful defense. Meanwhile, this Banshee here should be cleaned up. There we go. It does finally go down. But, mate, it got 10 worker kills. Mate, that's pretty good. Ay. Why nobody invited me? Sub, mate. You gotta. You did well in the qualifiers. Just gotta perform a little bit better. Shout out to Sub in the chat. Oh boy. I'm the best Chilean player. Kappa. Alright, here we go. The Stalkers are coming back across the map now. Thankfully, Tavo has, he has reclaimed control of his main base. We have a couple of tanks being thrown down. Plenty of Marines here. Stim not done yet. Neither is combat shields. But these Stalkers, really, their main goal is to delay the third base. Just keep Tavo on 2 bases. Maybe poke in if he sees a weak point. But again, we have plenty of tanks here. Meanwhile, those 2 Banshees, mate, they went across the map and they are one-shotting workers. Overcharge is popped. Mate, what the hell is Overcharge going to do? Here we go. One of the Banshees does finally go down, but the other survives, and this is important, right? It can stay here in the dead space. If MasTeR ever moves out, he can dive back in with that Banshee, get even more worker kills. Meanwhile, Tavo, I was talking about a third base. There it is. The third base is about to finish up. He can try and... Oh, God. I was about to say he can try and take it. There's a War Prism here alongside these Stalkers. It's going to take quite a bit to finally move out. He's probably going to wait until Stim finishes. Oh, as the Stalkers are going to chip away at this bunker. It looks like the bunker will go down. It does not get the salvage off. Ay. Oh, this is so annoying. Stim isn't done yet. Oh, God. MasTeR, he's trading so well against these Marines. Jesus Christ. All right, here we go. Another tank does go down here to the low ground with this. He should have an easier time holding. Again, just has to wait a little bit longer. There we go. Finally, Stim finishes. And with Stim, Tavo will have a much easier time cleaning this up. I say easier time. There we go. Medivacs come out and ooh, he's actually going for a cheeky drop. Okay. Hopefully these stalkers do not catch it. There's nothing here to spot it, so the drop should be able to head out. There we go. I'll go with the Marines. Meanwhile, as all this has been happening, mate, look at this Colossus count. Oh god, it's getting absolutely insane. 3 Colossus already. Extended thermal lens was delayed a little bit, but finally it's on the way. Again, the delay isn't really going to come into play. You know, he was just being a little bit greedy, and he's going to get away with it. Meanwhile, at the same time, we do have the Stim on forward. Tavo does finally push away these stalkers. At the same time, that War Prism, it's ready to dive into that main base. Oh my god. Banshee comes back, gonna clean things up a little bit. What's interesting is that Tavo doesn't just secure his third, he's immediately going for a counterattack. But I'm worried, mate, because what is left at home? The War Prism is still here. We just see a warp in, like he wants to dive in and harass these bases. Meanwhile, across the map, the drop finally landed, but mate, there's a shield battery. We had a warp into stalkers. This drop hasn't found too much yet. Maybe he can draw the attention of the main army. If he does, then that will give an opportunity for Tavo to push in. He does, but there are 3 Colossus. Oh god, I said that the Valence is not done yet, but immediately the Widow Mines go down. The tanks go down. Aye, Tavo, please. The Colossus just mow everything down. Oh god. At the same time, Zealots warp into the main base. 20 SCVs go down, mate. At least 20. They just keep on falling, and this is what I was worried about. The Colossus, they were ready to defend, and that War Prism was ready to attack, and everything went right for MasTeR. Everything went wrong for Tavo, because there's just red everywhere. There's just red Protoss everywhere. Finally, the Zealots in the main base are gonna get cleaned up, but what can stop these Colossus? Like, there's no more tanks. All the tanks went down. All the Widow Mines across the map went down. We have 3 more left here, but this is the end of the end, mate. Because as great as this bio is, like, we just see the stutter step backwards here with the Colossus. 1 Colossus does go down. That's great. That's beautiful. That's not enough, mate. Because MasTeR is just pushing on forward. There's nothing left here. The Widowmine shots go off. That's great and all, but GG gets called, and MasTeR takes game number 1. Oof. Damn. And honestly, mate, a pretty decisive game 1. What I will say is that Tavo was doing a very good job harassing with his Banshees. Like, that was great. But other than that, it took him a long time to expand. The counterattack, unfortunately, he didn't scan his opponent. Because of that, he didn't know that there were Colossus until they were in his face. So yeah, he kind of gambled a lot on that push, and we saw it just didn't work out for him. Even though the Protoss didn't have extended thermal lens, he didn't even need it. Yeah. Meanwhile, welcome to the stream. Oros solito hoy. Sí, for now, por ahora, soy solito. Después Darking is going to join. Darking will join for the semifinals. At the moment, he is busy adminning, so of course makes plenty of sense here. You know, he does have a job to do. But once we get to the semifinals, then Darking will be joining me for the rest of the cast in English. As we just update the scores on the screen right now. We actually have a couple of scores to update. It looks like while MasTeR took game number 1, Chaos Fate took game number 1 against Loki. Protoss OP Kappa. Alright, just letting them know that we are ready to dive in. As game number 2 is going to be on 2000 atmospheres. Again, a relatively standard map. I say relatively standard. Speaking of relatively standard maps, like, I'm honestly a little bit surprised that Tavo did allow Jagannatha to go through. I feel like, again, we have plenty of videos to work with, and he would have wanted to go for something else maybe, but yeah, very interesting map choice. Oh boy. Here we go. Game 2. Qué bonito, man. That is better than yo, Funara honors in the chat, mate. This guy, mate. Is Horus Protoss? Is that what's happening right now? Shaking my head. Alright. Here we go. We are diving into game number 2 of this best of 3 series and spawning in the bottom left hand corner of 2000 atmospheres LE. We have the Peruvian Terran player. He is purple, representing Psy Storm Gaming. It is Tavo. And spawning in the top right, we have the Brazilian Protoss player representing Eximius Gaming, and already up 1-0 in this best of 3 series. He just needs uno más, un momento, and then he is through to the next round. It is MasTeR. And if anyone can translate whatever the hell Coimbrina is, let me know. Let us know. But Darking never admins anything. Those brackets never update. Yo, Kappa. Otis with the fire in the chat, mate. Calm down, buddy. Calm down. You don't want to mess with El Padrino of StarCraft, mate. Oh, God. Yeah, Yamanal Cristiano. That's something that has been I know Nier brought it up earlier, how Cristiano, like, he's been wanting to cast a little bit more recently. I still haven't tuned into any of his casts, I'll be honest. But yeah, maybe one day. Maybe one day. I wouldn't be opposed to it. We'll sort something out. We'll do like a trial run in like Sentimiento Latino or something, and we'll see how things go. Because you know what, we could do with some more casters here. Again, it's one of those things where Milk, he started a full-time job. Yoda Slim started a job as well. Like, they're not as available as they used to be. Darking is great and all, but again, you know, he's also becoming a little bit more busy recently. So yeah, maybe we'll see. As at the moment, we see MasTeR just scouting all over the place, a little bit paranoid about what his opponent would be doing. And honestly, I don't blame him, right? MasTeR, he's the favorite in this series. We saw how well he did in game number 1. And as White Idra was saying in the chat, like, yo, you know, maybe Tavo has been working on his cheese a little bit. From what I remember, Tavo has been practicing with Cristiano. He's been practicing with Paco Mike as well for this series. And yeah, we'll see what that's going to come to, because honestly, it would be a little bit sad if this ended here in game number 2. I want this to at least go to the ace match. That's my dream anyway. Meanwhile, exclamation mark, Funada Dastan in the chat. Yeah, welcome Dastan, welcome. It's good to see you. It's good to see you always in the chat, showing up whenever you can. Yo, should I drag Dastan in here? That would be fun. Oh god, but alright, here we go. So we do have a very different opening here from Tavo. Game number 1, he went for that 1-1-1 into Cloak Banshees, and again, the Cloak Banshees honestly did well, right? There was no detection at home, there was no detection across the map either, so with those Banshees, he could harass and he could also defend at the same time against those Wing Stalkers. This time we do see a Widowmine drop opening though. Very different here. And at the same time, MasTeR going for that Twilight Council. Are we going to see Blink again? Yeah, more gateways being thrown down. We have a Robo as well. This is scouted by Tavo. He's well aware, and yeah, more or less this is the exact same opener from MasTeR. Oh boy, and already those Widowmines are zooming across the map. The first tank is in production. Again, it's one of those things where I was very surprised that Tavo didn't go for a bunker on the high ground, right? If you recall, in game number 1, he went for 2 bunkers on the low ground. Because of that, it allowed those Stalkers away into his main base, eventually into his mineral line, and sure, he didn't get a lot of worker kills, but he delayed a lot of mining time, and it took a long time to eventually force these Stalkers to leave and recall. So yeah, hopefully Tavo works on that and doesn't give MasTeR that room to just take advantage of his positioning like that. We'll see how things change here. Oh, as the first Hellion does go down. If we quickly check the vision here, yes, we have full vision. Winter Mines do drop in. Ooh, 7 probe kills. No reaction at all from MasTeR. So once again, the harassment is on point for Tavo. 2 games in a row. It's great. He gets worker kills. But what about the Blink Stalkers? Because again, like game 1, he got a lot of worker kills, but like, can you stop them is the question. We have a tank. We got a Raven, we have a disable available soon. Right now we just have an auto turret. There we go, 2 bunkers on the low ground again, but this time the tank is covering both the main and the natural. Alright, here we go, here we go. Stalkers, oh my god, they just blink past the bunker. There's no tank here on the low ground. So once again, a lot of lost mining time here in the natural. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, the tank is looking to reposition. Marines are going to be coming down as well. And at the same time, oh my god, the Reapers actually get into the natural. Oh, wow. 1 probe goes down. It's not ideal, but you know, it's something to say the least. God, but these no, they're being so annoying. Oh god, the engineering bay will go down. No gases. There is some mining going on at least, but yeah, just like game number 1, these Stalkers still find a lot of value. Oh god, and Tavo's even supply blocked. Yeah, he's got a depot on the way. He's got an engineering bay on the way as well, but his upgrades are going to be delayed. He's going for another Banshee again, which I mean, mate, you got to do what you got to do, I guess. There we go. More tanks finally show up here. And finally, the Stalkers are forced out of the natural base. But this feels, it feels so delayed here. Like everything, everything when it comes to the production, right? The upgrades, stim, combat shields, the Stalkers, the Raven! No, puppy, please! Oh god! The Raven's gonna go down. The tank's gonna go down as well. He was unsieged. Oh my god, is it over? Is it all over here and now? Not like this. Oh god, the Banshee's coming back home. Behind this, we have a third on the way. We have Colossus charge as well. Once again, the eBay is going to go down. No upgrades for Tavo. And unfortunately, oh god, I just what is there to say? I mean, there's no stim. The Marines can't stop this. The tanks have to edge ever closer, but they're not here. The Banshee is across the map, but it's not doing much either. It doesn't have cloak. Could force a warping at home, I guess. This is the saddest Banshee ever. Oh god, feels bad, man. Banshee gets forced away, and I just MasTer's just so far ahead at this point. The starport's even burning down. It shouldn't die. There's no way. Eventually it'll be repaired. The problem is with this is, like, it's gonna take so long to really get any upgrades for these Marines. Like, what are they really going to do here? The tanks are, like, getting a little bit closer, which is great, but if things ever get too scary for MasTeR, he can just recall. He's fine. Oh, God. Yeah, more Marines are falling. Charge is done, so we have warping of charge dots. There we go. Finally, we see... Finally, we do see the recall used. The War Prism did go down, which is something, but Tavo was essentially stuck on one base for the longest time. Like, look at those resources. Like, the income advantage from MasTeR, it's insane. It's just, it's off the charts, mate, literally. Oh, God. And with this, Extended Thermal Lance just finished up. We do have another Colossus on the way as well. So just like last time, we're going to have 3 Colossus. And just like last time, Tavo, he's going to go across the map. And I hope he doesn't commit to this attack. I understand the pressure that he's under, right? I understand it. That he feels like the need to attack right now. But you don't want to push into this. We saw it in game 1. He scans, he sees, mate, run away. Run far away, Tavo. It's not gonna work out. Oh, God. And Tavo, he does end up running, turning around all the way back home. What I will say is that as opposed to game one. If you remember game one, Tavo kind of threw his army away. He just sent everything across the map and nothing came of it. This time he doesn't waste his army. He has it at home. He has 4 tanks. He has 5 tanks even. Like defensively, this is a relatively strong Terran player. So I do appreciate this, right? He can work on his army at home. But at the same time, he is giving his opponent a lot of room, right? We have all these Colossus. Templar Archives is done. We're gonna have Storm at some point, I imagine, you know, diversify that AoE and all that good stuff. That splash damage. We have a 4th base on the way. Like, MasTeR can do whatever he wants. Tavo knows that. He wants to stop that. So instead of pushing out across the map, he's going for a drop. I appreciate this. What is this going to do? Force a recall, probably. Like, but it's something, right? It just keeps MasTeR busy. It doesn't let him get too comfortable. Problem is, I feel like he is pretty comfortable, right? And he's been able to get away with a lot. This drop is relatively late. There's a lot hinging on this. Like, this has to do something, otherwise this will be a pretty quick 2-0. And to be fair, like, MasTeR is pretty far ahead. We can see it in the soup, mate. In the supply, like, yo, MasTeR is up 30 supply, almost 40, almost 50. Alright, here we go. Drops are going across the map. What can we get done? Oh god. And this is what I'm worried about. Like, this drop needs to hit and it needs to pull the army back home, but it's too late. MasTeR is coming out across the map and there's not that much to protect these tanks. Oh my god, here we go. The charge also coming in. This time we have a disruptor on top of all this as well. 4 Colossus. The tanks are starting to fall. There's just not enough to protect these tanks. They are so vulnerable. At the same time, we do have a drop across the map. The drop is going to do a lot. And I don't believe, mate, because the tanks are falling. Everything is falling here at home. Meanwhile, the drop does get cleaned up and MasTeR G gets called. MasTeR takes game number 2 and the entire series. GG. Ooh. Congratulations, MasTeR. He was coming into this as the favorites, but that was rough. That was a rough series. GG, well played. And ooh, I just got another update, as you can see on the screen right now, or you should see on the screen right now. As this series was going on, so was the upper series. Chaos Fate does 2-0 Loki and MasTeR 2-0s Tavo.